Our first witness today is here representing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Dan Sokolov, have I got that right? Sokolov is Deputy Associate Director for Research, Markets, and Regulations. This division is responsible for understanding consumer financial markets and evaluating whether there is a need for regulation and the cost and benefit of potential or existing regulation. Prior to joining the CFPB, Mr. Sokolov held positions with the Department of the Treasury and served as an attorney for the Federal Reserve. Mr. Sokolov, we look forward to your testimony.
On the subject of small business and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB is the federal agency accountable for establishing clear rules of the road for the consumer financial marketplace. And Mr. Chairman, you mentioned the importance of a vibrant marketplace. That is precisely what we are striving for. Although the Bureau's jurisdiction is very limited with regard to small business credit, we take our responsibilities in this area very seriously. We recognize that small businesses are critical to the nation's economy, and that small financial services providers are a critical source of products and services for millions of consumers. Today, I want to provide a brief update on the stand-up of the CFPB, as well as explain our efforts to reduce and avoid unwarranted regulatory burdens on small providers, and how we at the CFPB believe we may be able to assist small business borrowers over time. The Bureau opened for business last Thursday, July 21st. The Inspectors General of the Treasury Department and Federal Reserve Board have reported favorably on our efforts to stand up this agency. We are already at work strengthening consumer financial markets. We are working toward a market where consumers can readily see prices and risks and compare products so they make the choices that they believe are best for them. We have taken input from thousands of individual consumers and mortgage lenders and brokers on how to simplify federal mortgage disclosures and make them less burdensome. We are launching our program for supervising the largest banks and their affiliates. We are taking our first consumer complaints about credit cards, and Holly Petraeus has set up a strong Office of Service Member Affairs, reaching out to military families and working to address the unique financial challenges that they face. To fulfill the mandate established by Congress, we have hired an expert staff from the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. They are striving to build an agency that is smart, effective, and balanced. At the CFPB, we have been building into the agency's DNA extensive outreach to small financial institutions such as community banks and credit unions. We believe in the importance of a financial services marketplace where small providers can thrive. We will work to reduce regulatory burdens on small financial service providers wherever possible. And we can take as an example disclosure reform. We understand lenders' deep frustration with the current mortgage forms required by federal law. They're complicated, sometimes duplicative, and more costly to fill out than they need to be. So we have solicited feedback from thousands of consumers, lenders, and brokers to help us make the disclosures simpler to use and easier to complete. Minimizing regulatory burden will continue to be a priority for us. Often, a regulation is not the best answer to a problem. Congress has given us many different tools to address problems in consumer financial markets. We will strive to address problems as we see them as effectively as we can and through the least burdensome means available to us. In addition, we will consider the potential benefits and costs of proposed regulations for consumers and covered persons, including small lenders. We will diligently comply with the Regulatory Flexibility Act, and we will follow the requirements of the Small Business Regulatory Enforcement Fairness Act, known as SBREFA. Our statutory objectives and statutory authorities do focus on financial products and services for consumers. The Bureau does not have jurisdiction over business credit, except in limited cases where Congress has explicitly and affirmatively granted the Bureau such jurisdiction. We recognize that a vibrant small business sector is critical to our economy, and we're aware that many small businesses today report having difficulty obtaining credit, a difficulty rooted in the most severe financial crisis since the Great Depression. So, although our role with respect to small business credit is quite limited, we hope to help many small business owners in 3 ways. First, we will implement diligently the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. This law prohibits discrimination in business lending. Second, as required by law, we will provide the public new data that may shed new light on the demand for and supply of small business credit. We will move deliberately, and we will consult widely to attempt to maximize the benefit of these loan data for small businesses and to minimize the cost for the lenders that will report the data. Third, we will work to ensure that consumer credit histories are as accurate as possible. More accurate credit histories would help startups. New business owners frequently rely on their personal credit histories to apply for their first business loan. We believe that a fairer and more transparent consumer financial services marketplace will be a boon to financial services providers of all sizes, and a more level playing field will benefit the smaller ones in particular. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.